Hey everybody, I have a quick word for you. And today's word, if this is for you, and I believe that it is for all, is called righteousness by faith. Righteousness by faith. And I have been debating this all day. And you know, when people are giving messages or sharing with you that salvation is essentially work-based in some fashion of wording, this is simply anti the actual gospel of Jesus Christ, because we can do nothing to earn salvation, but it has already been earned by faith in the cross of Jesus, and everything has already been atoned for. It's not a license to do whatever we want, but the Bible does say all things are permissible, but not everything is beneficial, and all things means all, and that doesn't mean that we should, but it is saying that there is already forgiveness and mercy for every sin possible. And so when we're getting messages that are saying, if you just correct this behavior or just did this different, you would have received that blessing. This is simply a lie, because obedience is not behavior modification. Obedience is obedience to the mind of Christ. And so the mind of Christ knows that I am already justified by faith. And so you know, there's nothing more that we can do to earn everything that we have been given in Jesus's inheritance over us. And so, you know, repentance is not us changing a behavior, it's us changing the way we think and believe in our hearts. And when we obey the truth of the gospel, our behavior changes in response to that. But it's not about behavior, it's about belief. Because Jesus did not come to abolish the law, he came to fulfill it, and all that the law does is bring us an awareness of our sin nature, and that points us to the cross for salvation by faith. We are justified by faith. We are righteous by faith. It is not in what we do, it is not in how we perform. And so, you know, when somebody is saying that the blessing you're contending for is contingent on you cleaning up this area or aspect of your life, that is simply a lie. That would be anti the cross. Jesus has already given us everything by faith, and he's not condemning us for anything. Nothing is outside the love of God. And so, you know, when we're holding ourselves to the law, when we believe that something that we're battling is keeping us from the goodness and the fullness of God, we are bound to the Old Testament Mosaic law. But of course, we are always aiming to uphold the morality of the mandates and the standards of God. However, in that processing, you're not any worse off or any further away from the fullness of Christ just because you have an area of your life that doesn't yet look like him. We want to be moving towards that, moral standard in God. However, the full atonement, the full price of any shortcoming that you have has already been paid for, has already been fully satisfied in Jesus. And so you only have to receive that through faith and by releasing the chains off of yourself and agreeing with God. And so obedience is not about the behavior that you do, it is about the belief that you have in the truth of the scriptures and God's nature,